as I promised before, it's time to review the engineered boots made by Red Wings. The model is the 2966. Let's do this together. Let's see the up and downs and is are worth it or not. See you inside. Here the Red Wing engineered boots model 2966. These are different to the 2968 because they don't have steel toe. But let's talk about first of what state Red Wing about these boots. In theory, these boots are a reissue of the engineered boot that they offer back in 1936 in the catalogs of the 1936. But here is the problem. According to historians that talking about the origin of the engineered boots, the engineered boots, according to them, were started showing in the catalogs back in 1937, between 37 and 39, and the first companies that offered this were Wesco and Chippewa. Then, if what Red Wing state is true, this is one of the first companies to offer engineered boots because they were in theory then offered in 1936. But anyway, this interesting data. The last they used to build this boot is last number 50. And the leather they use is a Klondike leather, which is kind of T-core leather. And you see here in the edge, it's a brown leather covered with a black coating. With the use, this black coating gonna fade and show the brown of the leather, which make this a keep this a very interesting characteristic. The hardware they use in the buckles is a nickel hardware, which gonna withstand the test of the time. In terms of the construction, the simplicity is amazing, and they give you a really nice character. It's double stitching, simple stitching in the back, double stitching in the shaft, in the front of the boot, and very simple construction, very simple. It's Goodyear Well 270. You can see here, Goodyear Well 270 with one simple stitch color white. If you can see the picture here of the cutting half of the boot, the insole and the midsole are leather with a metal shank. And there is something very interesting, very interesting, is the heel is not that thick. What is the advantage of this? This is gonna help to conform the shape of your heel and reduce the slippage with the time when you break in this boot. This is really good characteristic, unless you want a really a boot made indestructible. That's, I think, for the use of the purpose of the boot is not what is meant for. It's really nice leather. The thickness is approximately 2 millimeters and is very pliable. It's not gonna be easy to break in, but it's a very pliable leather. And you can see here, it's gonna give a really good characteristic to this leather. In terms of let's talking about now about the shape of this last. It has a space in the front of the feet, a really good space. That means you can move your toes freely. Has a slim waist, very slim waist, and a nice heel. It's not lined, it's unlined, which is for me is fantastic. I like unlined boots. I prefer the shoes, the dress shoes lined, but this is unlined, and really nice leather, really nice leather. And one thing, this is not that thick, which is important. I'm going to tell you later talking about how this the wearing of this. I have worn this not many times, but enough to feel how the characteristics. Construction wise, it's very simple, very straightforward. is a very nice size of the buckles, very nice size. This is very important because sometimes with the tension, these buckles is not put in the right position, tend to bend and show and do this movement, which is not very nice aesthetically. The shape of the two are not very bulbous, has a really nice height, really nice height. It's not very bulbous, but it's not flat. It's not a toe that's gonna sink with the use, gonna keep the shape. And there is one important thing. The slimness of the waist help to hold the feet in place to prevent the slippage forward and reduce the heel slippage. If you are worried about the heel slippage, this could be an important thing in relation how this boot is designed. Let's go to the sole. The sole is neoprene core. It's neoprene core. You can see here. That's the sole, neoprene core, which is very nice. And nailed heel, and you can see the Goodyear weld construction. There is one thing that I'm not happy with, is the stack of the heel. This is not wood, this is plastic or similar material, which is not well aligned here. You can see here, let's put a little bit more here. You can see here, it's not really well aligned, which is with all the wood that I seen of this production has the same design. I'd be more happy if or being happier is they use leather in the heel, but this is plastic. I don't know why the decision, probably to saving cost of the production, but I don't know how much cost they can save for the price they charge these woods. We're talking about later. This is the only downside in terms of construction. It's the same construction we used to see in the Red Wing heritage line. Now let's talking about how is the fitting of this wood. The wood has a problem. For me, it's a benefit. This only sell in width D. They don't offer E or double E, just D. From 8 to 12, I think is the biggest size. Then, how size this? First, the slimmest waist impact in the width. In my case, my Brannock is Brannock C in the width, which for me is fantastic. It's the only boot that hold really well my feet, because I cannot find any C size unless make this MTO or take made to measure boots, like maybe pay more money for this. But if you are looking for a boot which in this price range, which we're gonna take later, this could be a problem if you are looking into the Red Wings, which are very narrow. And many people complain that, if you can see in the forums, many people complain that these are too slim and difficult to fit. And some people advise to use size up, at least half a size. In my case, my Red Wing size in heritage style always was 11.5. These are 11.5 and fit perfectly. But keep in mind two things. First, I have low instep and I have a narrow fit. That's why for me it fit perfect. If you have higher instep and wider fit, the plus, this wood probably is not gonna be for you, because it's gonna be difficult to fit unless you can choose to size up half a size. Instead, if you are, suppose like me, 11.5 in all Iron Ranger, then choose 12 instead. I think that could be the only solution, because this is a problem with this wood. It could be great if they offer at least a width to have a wider weather rich, because that is a really big problem. Really big problem. Many people complain. I'm lucky or not, depend which kind of boot. I'm gonna tell you in which boot later. In which boot I know I'm lucky to having such a narrow fit. In terms of a break-in, I were from the very beginning, but it's something that I cannot tell you in terms of how comfortable. I wear this boot from the very beginning, the entire day. That's something I can tell you. But this happened with me with all the boots, because I use boot for a long time, and the break-in period for me is not that tough. But if you come from the sneakers, this gonna need a break-in, and you're gonna need time. And another thing, the sizing impact in the break-in. Sometimes you pick the wrong size. Maybe most of the people choose in this kind of boots half size down, what the size that I really need, and then the break-in period become hell. But I can tell you, these boots are not that difficult if you pick the right size, if you don't have the problem with the width and the high in step. You can see the profile, the step is not that high. Then if you have high in step and wider width fit, I think this is not for you. This is just a piece of advice. If you have high in step and with the plus, try first, because otherwise you're gonna regret. Cost of this boot is $550 in USA. In UK is for almost £500. Are not cheap, but from the well-made engineer boots is the most affordable. These are the most affordable boots. You can see this how fit on me, and are fantastic. I have no problem whatsoever. Then what is the downside of these boots is precisely the fitting, and in terms of construction is the heel stack are the only downside of these boots. I'm happy with this boot. Yes, more than happy in my case, but my biggest or my strongest advice is that you need to take a good measure of your feet before to try this boot, or if you want to pull the trigger online, be very careful. I'm really happy in the way they fit me. I'm really happy the shape and the profile of this boot. Improvements for this boot. I hope the Red Wing offer wider width, and the heel stack, no, plastic. This is really bad for the Red Wing. I don't think it's a good thing for Red Wing. You do this if you have seen the picture with the cutting half the boot. It has a really nice insole, really nice midsole. It's really nice, the leather. They ruin everything using a plastic stack, a plastic heel. Come on, Red Wing, you can do better. Anyway, do I recommend this boot? Yes, I recommend this boot with the caveat of the fitting. I regret to buy this? No, by any means. In my case, for my type of foot, is one of the best fitting. Also, I have some compliments with this boot. Are not the most compliment engineer boot I own. I have other boots that has more compliment than this, but this I have received really good compliments. Where I use this in the office and as a casual boots. In matter of fact, there are two guys that stopped me on the street asking me which brand were these boots. But comfort, construction, how is aesthetic are perfect. See you in the next, we're talking about white boots. See you, bye.